Hello everyone. How are you all doing? I am Suchita Nalgundwar and I am here with the second chapter of our crash course series, which is biological classification. By the end of this video, the question that is written here, in 5 kingdom system of classification, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella have been included in which kingdom will be crystal clear to you. So let's get started. चलिए प्रारंभ करते हैं. Since it is nearly impossible to study all living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is known as classification. So, classification can also be described as the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. The early attempt to classify organisms was done by the famous scientist Aristotle. Aristotle had grouped the plants into 3 broad categories. Those were the herbs, the shrubs, and the trees. And this system of classification was based on morphological characteristics of the plants. And he also grouped the organisms into Aneima and Eneima. Please remember, students, that Aneima are those organisms which do not have RBCs, whereas Eneima are those organisms which will be having RBCs. Further, there was this famous scientist Carolus Linnaeus who had given the 2-kingdom system of classification. In the 2-kingdom system of classification, the organisms were broadly categorized into 2 kingdoms, that is, plants and animals. And this system of classification, students, was based on the presence or absence of cell wall. Yes, my dear students, kindly note this, that this system of classification was based on the presence or absence of cell wall. Linnaeus, who is also known as the father of taxonomy, had categorized the plants on the basis of those organisms which will be having the cell wall. So under plants, Linnaeus had placed bacteria, fungi, protista, as well as the normal plants. Now, because of such a method of classification, there were serious criticisms to this method of classification. The reason being, if you observe, bacteria is a prokaryotic organism, whereas the protista, fungi and plants are eukaryotic organism. So people started telling that this system of classification included both the prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms together. Along with that, if you observe, you will see that bacteria and protista are unicellular, whereas fungi and plants are multicellular. So students, please remember that it is not apt to place unicellular and multicellular organisms together. So this was another drawback of the 2-kingdom system of classification. Along with that, if I talk about bacteria and fungi, all the fungi are heterotrophs and majority of the bacteria, students, are also heterotrophs. So try to understand, in this system of classification, heterotrophs were put together with the autotrophs, as most of the plants are photosynthetic in nature or they are autotrophic organisms. So now let's discuss about the disadvantages of the 2-kingdom system of classification. The first disadvantage, as I already mentioned, this system did not distinguish between the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. Next, the unicellular and the multicellular organisms were placed together, and also the photosynthetic and the non-photosynthetic organisms were also placed together under the two-kingdom system of classification. And because of all these drawbacks of the two-kingdom system of classification, there came the next system of classification, which was known as the three-kingdom system of classification. The three-kingdom system of classification was given by Haeckel, and Haeckel had introduced the kingdom Protista. Yes, my dear students, now the organisms were categorized into three groups or three categories, that is Plantae, Animalia, and there was the introduction of a new kingdom, which was kingdom Protista. And this kingdom Protista included all the unicellular organisms. Now, think about it. In Protista, all the unicellular organisms were present. So, one problem was sorted out. But unicellular organisms will include bacteria as well as the normal protistans like the dinoflagellates as well as the diatoms. Now, the problem was the bacteria was a prokaryotic organism, whereas the normal protistans like the diatoms, dinoflagellates, paramecium, all of these were eukaryotic organism. So this was a drawback of the three kingdom system of classification. So after this came the four kingdom system of classification, and this was given by Copeland. Yes, my dear students, I am not giving you any extra information. All these, though not mentioned in NCERT, is very important for your NEET examinations. So Copeland had given the four kingdom system of classification, and he had included kingdom Monera as the fourth kingdom. Yes, so as you observe, so here the organisms were categorized into four kingdoms: Monerans, Protistans, Plantae, and Animalia. And now the Monerans contained all the unicellular and prokaryotic organism. Protistans contained all the unicellular and eukaryotic organism, and there was the kingdom Plantae and Animalia based on the presence and or absence of the cell wall. But again there was a problem. The problem was with the fungi. Fungi was still placed under kingdom Plantae. Because of that, the major drawback was fungi were heterotrophic organism, whereas plants were autotrophic organisms. So now again this served as a major drawback for the four kingdom system of classification. So for this reason, there was the introduction of the five kingdom system of classification given by R.H. Whittaker in the year of 1969. So, this five kingdom system of classification, students, are even used today. The organisms were grouped or classified into five broad kingdoms, which were Monerans, containing the unicellular and prokaryotic organisms; Protistans, which were containing the unicellular and eukaryotic organism; fungi, which were containing mostly the multicellular and the heterotrophic organism having a cell wall; Plantae was containing the multicellular autotrophic organisms; and lastly we had kingdom Animalia, which were containing the multicellular and heterotrophic organism without a cell wall. Now, the main criteria for the five kingdom classification used by R.H. Whittaker were the cell structure, the thallus organization, the mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationship. Now, out of all the criteria, maximum weightage was given to the mode of nutrition. Yes, my dear students, kindly note this. Maximum weightage in the five kingdom system of classification was given on the mode of nutrition. Let's move ahead. Now, here is the answer to the question which I had asked in the beginning of this lecture. Where would you place organisms like Chlamydomonas and Chlorella? See, initially Chlamydomonas and Chlorella were placed under Kingdom Plantae. While we will be talking about Kingdom Plantae, that time also we will be discussing about Chlamydomonas and Chlorella in Kingdom Plantae. But see, with the advancement of the system of classification, today we place Chlamydomonas and Chlorella under the Kingdom Protista, because Chlamydomonas and Chlorella are unicellular and eukaryotic organism, which is the main criteria to put organisms under Kingdom Protista. So yes, my dear students, I hope this concept is crystal clear to you, that you will be placing Chlamydomonas and Chlorella under Kingdom Protista according to the advanced 5 kingdom system of classification. Let's move ahead. So now comes the most advanced system of classification, which is the 6 kingdom system of classification. This was given by Carl Woese, and he categorized organisms into 6 kingdoms: Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Now, he separated the Archaebacteria and the Eubacteria on the basis of some major differences in the cell wall and cell membrane composition. See, the cell wall of Eubacteria. The Eubacteria, the name itself suggests what? Eu means true. So, the cell wall of Eubacteria is made up of peptidoglycan, also known as murine. Whereas, the cell wall of Archaebacteria, which was previously placed under Kingdom Monera, had a cell wall which is made up of pseudomurine. Pseudo means false murine, right? Let's move ahead. Along with that, the Archaebacteria has the presence of branch chain lipid monolayer in the membrane, whereas bacteria has the presence of lipid bilayer in their membrane. This is a major difference. All organisms generally have lipid bilayer, but Archaebacteria, students, is an exception. It has lipid monolayer. Now, Carl Woese saw that this 6th kingdom can be naturally clustered into 3 main categories based on the 16S rRNA gene sequence, and these 3 categories he called them as the domains of life. These domains were bacteria, archaea and eukarya. Try to understand this. Bacteria contain the Eubacteria kingdom. Archaea contain kingdom Archaebacteria, whereas eukarya, see, eu means true, karya means nucleus. So all the organisms which contain true nucleus, meaning all the eukaryotic organisms, were placed under the domain eukarya. So the domain eukarya included Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. It is believed that all domain has a common ancestor, and generally the common ancestor is known as a progenote. It is generally known as a progenote. So if you now look at the taxonomic hierarchy, you remember the taxonomic hierarchy? If not, please go back to the previous lecture on living world and get it sorted. So now if you you redesign the taxonomic hierarchy, you will see that now the highest taxonomic category is no longer kingdom, but it is what? It is the domain. And below domain you have kingdom and the rest remains as it is. Is it clear? Domain is now the highest taxonomic category. There is the presence of 3 domains: eukarya, archaea and bacteria. Right? So under the domain you have kingdom and rest of the taxonomic categories remains as it is. So according to the 6 kingdom system of classification, domain is considered to be the highest taxonomic category. So students, that is all for today's lecture. Have a wonderful day ahead. And if you like the video, like, subscribe and share it as much as possible so that all the students can be benefited. Have a great day. Thank you.